Hi everyone, my name is Julia and I'm a physical therapist. I'm here today with a lower body strength workout. This workout is going to include your warm-up, then we're going to go through 3 groups of 3 exercises, 3 times each group for a big lower body strength workout. Then we're going to finish off with a cool down. So I'm going to be using weights during this workout. If you don't have them, totally fine, you can just do it body weight, or you can grab some household items like bags of books or sacks of flour, sugar, whatever it is that you have, water bottles. Just add a little bit of weight to these exercises and you'll get an even better lower body workout. So let's get this workout started. Starting off with our warm-up here, we're going to start with high knee pulls. So you're just going to bring your knee in towards your chest and pull to get a little stretch in the glute. So just working on this hip range of motion right away. You want to keep your back nice and tall. Don't let yourself slump down over your knee as you pull it up. So really get a nice stretch in the glute here. Just pull that knee in towards your chest. Our next one's going to be a quad stretch and a heel raise. So again, standing nice and tall, grab your ankle, pull your heel towards your butt, and get up on your toe. We're going to start to stretch out, get a dynamic stretch in those quads. And we're going to activate those calf muscles. So staying nice and tall and keep your knees together here. The next one is going to be hamstring scoops. So kick a leg out in front, kind of scoop towards your heel, and then come up. And then switch. So really important, you're keeping your back totally straight. The back knee can bend a little bit, but the front knee is going to stay straight. You should feel a nice dynamic stretch in the hamstring as you come down, keeping this neutral arch in your spine. Okay. Next one is a runner's lunge to rotation. So, nice deep lunge, rotate, and rotate, and then switch. So we're really trying to rotate through your upper back as much as you can here. So just getting a little mobility in the hip. Next one, we're going to come up into a reverse lunge and twist. So you'll step back, rotate towards the front leg, then the other direction. Repeat on the other leg. So step back into reverse lunge, twist both ways, a controlled twist. You want to keep this front knee stable here. The next one is a figure 4 standing stretch. So cross your ankle over your opposite knee, sit back into the hips. Oops. Keep your balance. Remember to flex your foot, pull your toes towards your knee, don't let your foot point down. Keep it up. And sit back into the hips, working on this hip hinge. You don't want your knees sliding forward, you want your hips to be pushing back. Next one is open and close the gate. So you're going to open and close the gate for a low impact option. You can keep it here. Or if you want to bring it up with me, get the heart rate up a little bit, you can add a little bit of a hop. And I'm enjoying my new exercise mat here. Although it does come apart at the seam sometimes, so if it starts coming apart, just ignore it. Next one is going to be high knees. Again, for low impact, you can do a high knee march, or bring the knees up with me here. Again, keeping your back nice and tall. Just driving the knees up, using your abs. We're just really trying to get that heart rate up here. Alright, bring it down. That's our warm-up. Hopefully, if you're like me, you're breathing a little harder, sweating a little bit. That means it's the perfect warm-up for what we're about to do. So, Go ahead and grab a quick sip of water, but then come right back, grab your weights. We'll get into the strength portion of this workout. So our first round of 3 is squats, RDLs, and lateral lunges. So grab your weights for the squats, and we'll start it up here. So feet shoulder width apart, weight towards your heels, but all throughout your foot, pushing your hips back to sink down into the squat as if you're reaching back, reaching your hips back to sit in a chair behind you. Inhale down, exhale up. Remember to breathe. So really nice, stable base through your feet. If you find that your knees are caving in a little bit, pretend to spread the floor between your feet. All right, quick break. We're switching to those RDLs. You can shake out the legs a little bit. So roll the shoulders back and down. Get a nice neutral spine. Hinge from the hips. Start it up. So you want to keep a neutral spine with these RDLs. You should feel a stretch in the hamstrings as you're coming down, and then those hamstrings and glutes working to pull you back up. Inhale down, exhale up. So knees are straight but soft, so they're not totally locked out. Keep it up with a nice steady breathing. Only go as far down as your flexibility will allow. You don't want to force it. These will get better as you go. Quick break. And we're switching to those lateral lunges. I think I'm going to try and stay with the same weight. We'll see. Next round I might drop down a little bit. So set your feet nice and wide. And then sink your hips back behind one foot and then the other foot. So alternating lateral lunges. Inhale down, exhale up. You should feel a little stretch on your inner thigh as well. But feet pointing straight forward, weight towards your heels. Really try and sink that hip directly behind your knee, which is going to be directly over your foot. You don't want your knee to the outside or the inside of your foot here as you're coming down. And this new mat is a little creaky, so sorry you get extra sound effects. All right, quick break for the hands if you need it, and then we're going right back into those squats. 3 rounds of 3 exercises. So feet shoulder width apart. Initiate the squat with the hip hinge. Sit your hips back. Your chest can come down a little bit, but you want your chest to be kind of upright for this one. You want your chest angle to be about the same as your shin angle, although you can see mine isn't totally. It kind of depends on your body proportions. Spread the floor between your feet. Activate those glutes, hip abductors to prevent your knees from collapsing inward. Break. We'll go back to those RDLs. Roll the shoulders back and down. Get those weights set up. And start it up. Hinge at the hips. Keep the shoulders back and down. Locked down on your ribcage here. That helps with keeping your back in a neutral spine. So really get a nice stretch of the hamstrings on the way down, an active lengthening of your hamstrings, and then a great glute and hamstring activation to pull you back up. Inhale down, exhale up. All right, we're going into our second round of lateral lunges. So I'll show you from the side. So we're going to set up with our feet nice and wide. And this is really all about the hip hinge. You want to push your hips back. So sit back, push your hips behind your knee. Same thing the other direction. So really make sure your feet are pointing forward. Because if they point out to the sides, you're really going to bias your quads a lot more, the front of your thigh. And I want this, you should feel it in the quads, but I really want this to be targeting your glutes. So the back side of the body. And once you get down here, you can even shift back a little bit and feel it load up into the glutes. Make that adjustment a couple times. And then try, as you're hinging back, just to land into that really pushed back position. All right, one more round here. Coming up on round 3, starting with those squats. Feet shoulder width apart. Spread the floor between your feet and start it up. Inhale down, exhale up. And again, you can always drop the weight. Just do it body weight or less weight. You can just hold one weight in front of your chest, like a goblet squat. Use whatever you have available. Even if you're just doing this body weight, it'll still be a really great lower body workout. All right, one more set of those RDLs. Roll the shoulders, back and down, get them set. Ready for that hip hinge, and start it up. Inhale down, exhale up. Knees straight but soft. Really pushing your butt behind you to initiate this hip hinge. You're not just tipping your top half forward, you're reaching your hips back. So really trying to fold in half here for that hip hinge while keeping a neutral spine and steady breathing. All right, we've got one more set of those lateral lunges, so set your feet nice and wide here. Again, don't mind my creaky mat. I wonder if that will change with time, we'll see. All right, sink it back. Sink those hips back. Get those feet pointing almost completely straight forward. Maybe a very slight toe out. Push the weight back into your heels to load up into your glutes. Your hip should be behind your knee, which is directly over your foot at the lowest part of the lateral lunge. Inhale down, exhale up. All right, nice. Go ahead and give it a break. That is the end of those 3 exercises. So grab a quick drink of water, shake out your hands, and then we're going to come back for our second group. Okay, so our next group is going to be Sumo Squats, toe out RDLs, and reverse lunges. So I'm going to lighten the load a little bit here. We're starting with the Sumo Squat, feet nice and wide. Toes pointing out this time, slightly out, and sink down into the Sumo Squat. And you want your knees tracking out over your feet. So if your hips are very open, you're going to have to turn your feet out more. If you're not so open, Don't turn your feet out so much. The most important thing is that your knees are tracking directly over your feet in the same direction and not going to the inside or outside. So the chest is more upright in the sumo squat here. All right, and then next one is toe out RDLs. This is a little weird, so I lightened the weight a little bit. You're gonna set up with your toes pointing slightly out. You can do less extreme or a little more extreme. And then you're just gonna sink your hips back. Other than the feet pointing out, it looks exactly like a regular RDL. So knees are still soft, straight but soft. Still keeping in neutral arch in that spine. And inhale down, exhale up. You'll probably feel a stretch more along the outer portion of your hamstrings. So we're just really focusing on your outer hamstrings with this exercise. And then in the next group, we'll turn around and hit the inner hamstrings. So be prepared. Get ready for it. But for now, just keep it nice and steady. And take a quick break. And we're going to go to reverse lunges. So this one, you want to get both knees to 90 degrees approximately and weight equally between both feet. So step back, lower down, come forward, step back, lower, forward. You want your trunk to stay pretty much vertical throughout this here. And as always, steady breathing. So you're going to inhale down, exhale up. Take a nice long step back. The goal is to get both knees to about 90 degrees here. You don't really want to tap your knee on the ground. You don't want to slam your knee on the ground. You can very lightly tap, but I usually just hover. Go ahead and take a break. I'm actually going to increase my weight for the sumo squats here. But you do you. Choose what's right for you. So feet a little wider than shoulder width, pointing out. Sink down into the sumo squat. Your shins are going to be pretty vertical at the bottom of the sumo squat because your feet, your stance, is wider than with a normal squat. Inhale down, exhale up. Keep the weight in the heels. Knees should be tracking over feet. Chest up. And we'll switch to the toe RDLs. I think I might keep this weight. We'll see. So get the toes facing out. Otherwise, feet are hip width apart. Shoulders back and down. And start it up. So really feel it. Push those hips back. Get a nice active lengthening of those outer hamstrings. I kind of like, this is kind of an awkward motion, especially if you haven't done it before. So go lighter than you think you have to if this is your first time doing this exercise. But I do like doing these different variations because we want to make sure we're hitting the muscles in kind of a different way. If you do the same thing day in, day out, your muscle doesn't adapt to any new types of movements. So I like throwing this in there once in a while. All right, back to those reverse lunges. I think I'm going to switch back to my lighter weights here. So you really want to have a nice long step back, and this front knee should be nice and stable, tracking over your foot. You don't want a lot of wobble in the front knee, so squeeze those glutes, activate your core, keep your trunk nice and upright. As you step back, Sink evenly between both legs. Try not to keep all your weight on the front leg. That's a common tendency. We want both legs to be working in the reverse lunge here. All right, break. And then we're going back to we have one more set of all three of those exercises. I'm gonna ramp my weight back up here for the sumo squats. Shift from the side. So sink the hips down. And as you can see, my trunk stays a little more vertical than with a normal squat, since I'm sinking my hips a little bit more directly between my legs. It's still a little bit of a hip hinge back, but since my feet are out so wide, it's not quite as much. So think of your body like an elevator, dropping down between your legs and coming straight back up. Inhale down, exhale up. All right, last round of those toe out RDLs. Get your feet set, shoulders back and down, and start it up. And same as with the regular RDLs, push your hips back to initiate the hip hinge. You don't want to be just tipping your chest forward. You want to also be counterbalancing by pushing your hips back. Your chest is really only coming forward to counterbalance your hips going back. Keeping your body nice and balanced. Knees straight but soft. Feel it in those outer hamstrings. All right, so one more set of reverse lunges. I'm going to switch my weight here. Really trying to get that weight even between both feet. So step back, down, and then forward. So step back, sink like an elevator between your legs, and then come back forward. Make sure it's a nice long step back. You don't want to be all crunched here. So a nice long step. Your weight should be in the heel of your front foot. So you're really driving into that glute. And then you should feel your back quad having worked pretty hard to lower down in this movement. Keep it up. All right, and done. Round two finished. So now we have round three. Our last three exercises are going to be split squats with one leg in front, split squats with the other leg in front, and then toe in RDLs as promised. So grab a quick drink, come right back for our next group of three. Okay, we got split squats and toe in RDLs, so grab your weight for the split squat. Set it up in a nice long lunge position, left foot in front. Sink straight down between your legs like an elevator. Your trunk should be vertical. And this is going to be more of a challenge than those reverse lunges because we're not switching which foot is in front. So we're just repeating again and again. Lower, raise, inhale down, exhale up. And you want your trunk to be pretty much vertical and lowering directly between your 2 feet here. Weight in your front heel. Goal is to get to 90 degrees bent on each knee. All right, shake it out. We're switching which leg is in front. So I'm going to put my right foot in front. Nice long step back, set it up, and start it up. Lower directly back down, and come straight up between those legs. Inhale down, exhale up. Oh, I feel the burn starting to set in. This split stance, split squat here, is kind of similar. It's kind of a progression towards single leg training. So, definitely feel it. Ooh. All right, shake it out. We're going to the toe in RDL. So again, use a light weight if you haven't done this exercise before. So feet about shoulder width apart, toes in, and hip hinge back. We're really going to feel it more on the inner hamstrings with our feet oriented this way. But otherwise, it looks like a regular RDL. So knees are straight but soft. Hips are hinging back. Neutral arch in the spine. Inhale down. Exhale up. The only thing we changed was our foot orientation, which actually makes a big difference for muscle activation. So, just a new way, a fun new way to hit the hamstrings here. All right, very good. Back to those split squats. Shake it out. So take a nice long step. Set it up. And start it up. So weight in the front heel. Sinking down directly between both feet. You want almost an equal amount of weight between each leg here. Inhale down, exhale up. And you might hear my ankles and knees popping and cracking. It doesn't hurt, so I don't worry about it. Typically, if pops and cracks don't hurt, not anything to worry about. My joints crack all the time. Usually feels good, actually. All right, go ahead and shake it out. We're going to switch sides here. Put the right leg in front for the next set of split squats. Nice long step back. Start it up. You want your knees tracking in the same line as your feet. So make sure your foot's pointed, both your feet are pointed straight forward, and your knees are tracking over your feet as you lower and lift. Nice steady breathing. Feel the burn. This is how we're going to change the strength of your legs. Even if you're doing it body weight, I bet you're getting a good muscle burn right now. Nice. All right. We're going to go for those toe-in RDLs. So, set it up like a regular RDL, and then just turn your toes in just a little bit. Doesn't have to be too extreme. And start it up. Push those hips back. Really feel it, working those inner thighs. I like training for sports, since I play sports. So all these kind of multi-directional training, we don't just go straight up and down, side to side, or forward back. I like to add a little bit of angle to it, change the challenge to the muscle, so that your muscles are ready for whatever random movements happen during sports. Sports are unpredictable. Good. So we're going for one more set of those split squats and toe-in RDLs. So, left foot in front. Nice long step back. And start it up. So this workout is probably it's a little bit more basic. I have a bunch of other workouts where we'll do a lot more multi-directional exercises, but even here you can see we've done lunges kind of 3 different ways. Lateral lunges, reverse lunges, and now these split squats. We've done the RDLs 3 different ways, and we've done the squats 2 different ways, so trying to mix it up a little bit. You gotta surprise your muscles sometimes in order to make a change. Ooh. Walk it in, shake it out. One more set on the right side with the right leg in front. Roll those shoulders back and down. And start it up. Nice steady breathing here. Just think, you have these last set of split squats here, 1 more set of the toe-in RDLs, and then we'll be on to our cool down. You're almost there. You made it this far. What's a little longer? Keep breathing. Good. All right. 1 more set of those toe-in RDLs. I think I'm going to increase my weight just a little bit. Just for the last one. Why not? Give it a little challenge. Start it up. Push those hips back. Inhale down. Exhale up. Hinge the hips back. Keep the weight in your heels. Knees are soft but straight. Really feeling it in those inner hamstrings. All right. The double beep means that round is complete. And also, so is the hard portion of our workout. So grab a quick drink, keep your feet moving, and then come right back. Make sure you come back for the cool down. It's really important. Don't skip it. All right, welcome back to the cool down. So we're going to start with a standing quad stretch. So you're going to just grab your ankle, pull it towards your butt. Stand up nice and tall. You can use your workout buddy for a balance support or a wall, chair, counter, anything nearby. Stand up nice and tall. Breathe into the front of your thigh here, stretching out that quad. Nice job. That was a hard workout. We really got the legs there. So I'm sweating. My legs are a little wobbly, so hopefully yours are too. Now we just get to enjoy and stretch it out. Switch sides. Sit nice and tall, knees together. Draw your heel towards your butt. And breathe. If you can't quite reach your ankle, you can always grab the back of your shoe, your sock, or loop a towel around your foot and use that to pull up on your ankle. Next one is going to be a forward bend hamstring stretch. So feet nice and wide, and then bend down to the ground. And you kind of walk from one side to the other. Feel a stretch in both hamstrings. Come straight down the middle. Let your head relax. Next one is a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So Down on the ground, you're going to tuck your hips under like a guilty dog and then shift forward. You should feel a stretch in the back hip here. So make sure you're standing up, your trunk is nice and tall, you're not arching into your back. You really want to lengthen that hip flexor, the front of your hip. Or not trying to get a stretch for your abs, the front of your stomach. Go ahead and switch sides. So tuck your hips under, kind of like a guilty dog. You got to use your abs a little bit, and then shift forward. You should feel the stretch on the front of the hip. Just breathe into it. And if you tuck your hips under and already feel the stretch, that's fine. You don't need to really force it to shift forward. This is usually a pretty tight muscle. Next one is going to be a supine figure 4 glute stretch. So on your back, cross your left ankle over your right knee and pull your right shin towards you. If you can't reach the shin, you can grab the back of the thigh. Make sure you're flexing your foot, so pull your toes towards your knee on your left leg here, or whichever leg you started with. I started with my left. Go ahead and switch. So, right ankle over left knee, flex your right toes, pull those toes towards your knee, and draw that shin in. Get a really good stretch in the glute. And breathe. Just let it sink into the stretch. Our last stretch is going to be a butterfly stretch. So, sitting up, soles of the feet together, walk them in as close as you can, and then try and sink your knees down towards the ground. And you can bring your trunk straight up, and then just kind of lean forward over your feet. So you don't want to slump forward, kind of lean your chest straight forward. So you may be just sitting totally upright, that's fine. Just be wherever the stretch is good for you. All right, and that is the double beep, which means you are done with this workout. Great job. I'm going to do some foam rolling for recovery, so if you want, you can check out my video on foam rolling, because I really think that foam rolling is very helpful for reducing muscle soreness, and I think I'll probably be sore after this workout. So check out the foam rolling if you like. Otherwise, that was a great workout. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.